Tina bought a frame for a photo, but the photo's too big for the frame. She needs to reduce the width and length of the photo by the same amount. The area of the photo should be reduced to half the original area. And if the original photo is 12 by 16, then what's the dimensions of the smaller photo? So let's first start by drawing a picture of what's going on. We have got a photo frame that is 12 by 16. So width is equal to 12 and the length is equal to 16. The area of the photo is going to be width times length. So 12 times 16, if I get a calculator. Give me 1 second. 12 times 16 is 192. So area is equal to 192. And we need to reduce the size so that the area is half. So we need to take this and transform it to a smaller photo whose area is going to be half. So that's going to be area is going to be 96. So area of the smaller one is equal to 96 square inches. So what the question is asking is how much do we need to reduce the width and the length? And they also say here that the width and the length are reduced by the same amount. Okay, the same amount. So let's make a variable and let's say x is equal to the amount reduced. Right? So the number of inches that the width and length need to be reduced. So the width of the new photo is going to be the width of the old photo, 12, minus x, the amount that we reduce. And then the length of it is going to be 16, the length of the old photo, minus x, the amount that we need to reduce. Right? So if we go ahead and put this into an equation, well, we know that width, an area of a rectangle is width times length is equal to area. So we can write an equation and we could say 12 minus x times 16 minus x is equal to 96. Right? Then what we can do is distribute out. Right? And if we distribute out, then what do we get? We get 192. And then we have minus 28x, and then we have plus x squared is equal to 96. Now I'm going to subtract 96 so I can have a 0 on the other side of my equal sign, and I'm going to rearrange these in standard form. So I'm going to put my x squared first, then I'm going to put my negative 28x, and then I'm going to put plus 96 is equal to 0, because 192 minus 96 is 96. All right. So now that we have this, this is now a problem that we're accustomed to solving. Right? So how can we solve this? Well, our A is 1, our B is negative 28, and our C is 96. So we can go ahead and draw an X. Our 96, our A times C, our 1 times 96 is going to go in the top section. Our negative 28 is going to go in the bottom section. And now the question is what two factors multiply to 96 but add to negative 28? And because they add to a negative number, we know that this side is negative and this side is also going to be negative, because a negative times a negative is positive, and a negative plus a negative is negative. So what are the factors that multiply to 96, add to 28? And so if you kick it around long enough, you'll find it is 4 and 24. Okay. So now what can we do? We can go ahead and write our factors as x minus 4 times x minus 24 is equal to 0. And then we're going to solve for x. We're going to say if a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. Right, so we'll set them both equal to 0 to solve for x. Minus 4 is equal to 0. And we'll say x minus 24 is equal to 0. I'm going to solve both of them by adding 4 to both sides. X is equal to 4. And I'm going to add 24 to both sides. and I get x is equal to 24. So x is equal to 4 or x is equal to 24. And so what is our answer? Well, let's go ahead and use 4 as our x, right? If 4 is our x, then that means the width of our picture is going to be 8, and our height is going to be 12 inches. If we use 24 as our x, then our width is going to be negative 12, and our height is going to be negative 8. So our width and length cannot be negative, so it's not going to be 24. All right, so I want to put here, cannot be negative width and length, right? So our answer is going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to say 4 inches. And I'll put a box around my 4.